ESPN FC, I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Shaka Hislop, Ali Moreno, and a man who apparently is on the edge today, Craig Burley. So this could go any which way.
I have to say, I was on the edge after those games, yes. And we've had a few technical difficulties. It's driven me even closer. So beware, I could
Fortunately,
snap.
patience is very much one of your qualities, Craig.
Very much,
so that's
yes.
perfect.
Well, you sort your collar out first and foremost.
Hey, look, Frank's got collarless. Beautiful polo neck. Julian is with us as well, as we now know these 16 teams that will be in Monday's draw for the Champions League knockout stages. Remember, the group winners will be drawn with the runners-up. You can't face the same team that you played in the group, and you can't face the same side that plays in the same country as you. That draw is on Monday. We'll maybe look ahead to that a little later on. But now we know all the teams, let's take a look at the odds regarding who is the favourites to win the whole thing. And it remains Manchester City, despite their dip in form domestically, 11-4, Liverpool at 4s, Barcelona at 6-1.
Well, Caesar Sportbook clearly don't watch the game.
Well, they must watch the game. Of course they do.
Well, they don't watch the game.
What do they do? Just throw out?
So they've got a team that's, what, umpteen points behind Liverpool in the Premier League domestically, and they've got injuries, and Liverpool are last year's winners, and yet Man City are favourites. They don't watch it then.
It's a head-scratcher, isn't it? Like, considering what we've seen.
Well, I'll be honest. I have no interest. Where?
In anything.
No.
Apart from the President's Cup.
I have no interest where these teams are. However, some people that may be interested in these things will be looking at that and saying, how?
Yeah, it does seem. So who would be your favourites?
I'm going to go with Liverpool. Liverpool. I'm going to go with Liverpool. Yeah.
He's got I'm on the edge. I'm on the edge. At the moment, it's Liverpool.
Right.
Clear.
OK.
Right.
And how will that affect next year's Ballon d'Or?
It's a Ronaldo or Messi.
So, yeah, I mean, it's like they are the team to beat at the moment. There is not a shadow of a doubt. So to put Manchester City up there with the problems they've had, the injuries they've had, with their form this season, is just, and the Champions League record in recent years, is just ludicrous.
My guess is that Caesar Sportsbook is projecting the best version of Manchester City. We haven't seen that, and there is no reason to believe that we are going to see that. If you project the best version of Manchester City and Laporte somehow comes back from injury.
That because everybody else has issues. When City haven't played well, they have just as many issues as everybody else. I don't understand City being favourites. As a matter of fact, left up to me, and just looking at what we've seen so far, probably 4th or 5th on that list. I still think Liverpool playing the best right now. PSG probably have as good a chance as they've had over the last few
Bring
years.
back the SPI.
Wow. Controversy. Real controversy.
You know what these two are going to say? You know these two are going to say PSG.
What should we ask them?
Standard.
Just put words in their mouths. Frank LeBeau. Frank's going for Chelsea. Who would your money be on?
I would have said Celtics just to please Craig, but he's not in the list. No, I think it's very hard to put out a favourite because of the non-consistency of any club that I've seen so far. Manchester City for me is not the top of the list because of the weaknesses that they have in defense. Paris Saint-Germain would have been on top of the list if I wouldn't have seen that game against Real Madrid away from home, where defensively they showed the same problem that they had before. And Liverpool is Liverpool, but I see also some stuff that I didn't see last year. So for me, still the favourite to win it twice in a row. But I think it's an open tournament this year, and many other clubs can win. So let's say Liverpool first and Paris Saint-Germain second.
Ah, second. There you go. You're wrong.
But he got it in.
Well,
he got it in.
He's not sure about Liverpool 30 seconds ago. Now he's got them winning the bloody thing. Come on, Frank.
Julian Laurent.
I still think Liverpool are the team to beat, really, and not just because they're the holders or they're top of the Premier League, but because even if they've not been playing as best as they have in last season, for example, they're still very strong and very hard to beat. So I would put them favourite like most of the boys. I think PSG are a more balanced team than they were last year. And if they're all fit, if Neymar is fit and Mbappe stays fit and Icardi stays at this kind of level, plus the depth of the squad that they have, it could be interesting, especially if they get a bit of luck in the draw at some point. but I don't think they could win it this year. I think Real Madrid is a team that will get stronger and stronger. And I think Zidane has something going on there. And again, they have a lot of depth in their squad, which they can rotate, and Zidane loves rotating. So I wouldn't rule out Real Madrid to come really strong towards the quarterfinal, semi-final, and final.
Let's move on, shall we, as the show continues to get stronger. Dream Champions League. This is what you came up with, Craig, when we asked you to do the draw.
No, I did not. But let me tell you, my fingerprints are nowhere near this.
Manchester City, of course, could face Real Madrid. Real Madrid finishing second is the team that everyone is really going to want to avoid from the group winners. You could have Liverpool, Dortmund, Barca against Chelsea, Juventus against Tottenham. That'd be amazing. Bayern, Atleti, PSG, Napoli, Leipzig, Atalanta.
Leipzig?
Valencia against Lyon. Hey, that's tasty.
That is a good draw.
Well, it's not going to happen.
Why not?
How much? What's the percentage of that happening like that?
Well, it's a small percentage, but it's more. It's likely that will happen as opposed to any other draw, isn't it?
Let's see, but what you want is what you consider to be the best teams to advance, so that we have real dream matchups come the quarterfinals. So a team like Real Madrid, you would want them playing somebody like Leipzig.
I see.
See, so that the big guys, big boys advance, and now
everyone.
Yes, and the teams that do not belong, see you guys later.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, not the fairy tale for Atalanta,
No, I
maybe
don't.
going through to the quarterfinals.
I like fairy tales.
Yeah.
But not in Champions
Just
League.
a shame Inter Milan are not in there because they've got bigger fish to fry, haven't they? What a loser mentality that is.
Well, they're not in this draw.
Let's just mail in the Europa League as well, because that worked great for Napoli a couple of years ago. Seriously. Well, yesterday's chat about
He gone.
Yeah, I was about to say, is he over the edge yet?
Look, at the end of the day, Frank is right. It is arguably as wide open as it's been for a while.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, you know, it could throw up a bit of a spanner in the works, but, you know, I think the elite teams will probably be in the quarterfinals, barring a big shock. And I think we'll be having a similar discussion we have most quarter-final draw.
Jules, you take a look at it, though. One of the fairy tale stories so far is, of course, Atalanta, who had that terrible start to the group stages, but got it done today. Now, if you're in Atalanta, are we in like an FA Cup weird world where you want to play a big team, or would you want to play a Leipzig?
Oh no, I think they will take the biggest team they can. Like you said, it's an absolute fairy tale. 0 points after 3 games, 1 point after 4 games, which I've never done before in this format of the competition. It was done before by Newcastle, for example, but it was at the time where you had 2 group stages back to back. It was not like in the format that it is now. So it's incredible, really, when you think about it. And Gasperini deserves a lot of credit, and so do the players. And now they play at San Siro because their stadium is not in the regulation for UEFA competition and Champions League competition. So in San Siro, it would be crazy whoever they face, but I think they would want to face the biggest name possible and try to upset again someone big. And we saw them against Manchester City in Italy, where they caused them a lot of problems and got a very deservedly draw. And I think they can cause problems to a lot of teams because they play in such a different way. They have so much energy, so much intensity. And maybe there will be a bit of complacency for whoever plays them in the last 16 as well.
Frank, you must be excited about this draw.
Yeah, I will be. I want to see what's going to happen. I don't agree with Julian. I think Atalanta don't want to get the biggest team. They just want to go through. Players are professional. It's not a fairy tale for journalists. It's a real world where players want to win something. And Atalanta, I think they have the qualities to go far. So they don't want to play against Manchester City. If they can get Leipzig or Lyon or another club and go as far as they can, you know, they will be pleased. I want to see, you know what? I want to see Juventus against Real Madrid. I want to see Cristiano Ronaldo going back to Santiago Bernabeu and play against Real Madrid. I want to see that.
That would be dream stuff. Frank, thank you very much. More on the draw, of course, on Monday. If you ever miss a show, fear not. You can download our daily podcast, which is available over on the website. Now, PSG flying today, a very big win over Galatasaray, but there have been some rumblings, of course, regarding the relationship between Thomas Tuchel and some of his stars. These were highlighted when Mbappe was substituted at the weekend. Clearly not happy. This is what Tuchel had to say. He has a special mindset. When you've won trophies and have his talent, you don't want to be substituted, but he has to respect my decision and show respect for the incoming player. Frank Leboeuf, your old teammate Christophe Dugarry, said basically, well, that's it. Tuchel's done.
Yeah, but he said that in a way that it would be, and he thinks that it's impossible for Tuchel to cope with either Mbappe or Neymar because they. It's like tonight when they played this evening when they play in Paris and they make many goals and also assists, where it's impossible to cope when your name is Tuchel. If you are Zidane, it's maybe more possible, but they're above you. If they're not happy, they're going to show it. If they want to say something, they're going to do it. And if they don't want to play, they're not going to play. So they are absolutely fantastic player. And for Tuchel and the problem he had with Mbappe, he started when the last year when they played against Marseille. Mbappe arrived with Rabiot 2 minutes or 3 minutes late. And they were punished and put on the bench, where other players did the same thing, and because they were above them, I don't want to name Neymar, but he was one of them, weren't punished for the same decision. So the problem and the pressure started from there, and then he went above to another level where when Tuchel decided to put couple of times Mbappe on the bench or put him out and substituted him, and he upset Mbappe. What Dugarry wanted to say is said it's already hard to be the coach of Paris Saint-Germain because the structure of the club are not perfect, where the president, Mr. Al-Khelaifi, sometimes opened the door to the players to complain and not, in fact, respecting the hierarchy of the club. Tuchel tried to keep that hierarchy at the right level, but it seems to be that for Dugarry, when he talked last time, that Mbappe and Neymar are too strong for the club, and if they don't want to give their best, they won't do it. But of course, if they are fantastic, and they will be fantastic, the club will be very pleased. That's the only thing that he said. It's not that Tuchel will be put out. As long as they have result, he's going to stay. But he has no strings to make sure that he's going to be attached to Neymar or Mbappe.
So from the outside looking into this, boys, I would think, why would Tuchel...
They are living big babies, basically. That's what it is. Now, when you have to, you know, wrap them in cotton wool, and I'm not saying Tuchel or any other coach is blameless for some of your suggestion, but however, a lot of these things are so trivial that end up being so seemingly so big. It's almost an impossible job to manage these guys.
So you made the decision to take him off. Fine. You're the manager. You're well within your rights to make that decision. What I didn't quite understand of that particular sequence, you know that he's not happy about coming off. Then why do you go and try to give him explanations? Say, why? And you see him putting his hand over his mouth and, hey, you know, I'm just trying to save you for the... No. You don't have to give him an explanation, right? You deal with that at some other time when he's not as hot, when he's not as upset, or whatever the case may be, whenever he's not throwing a fit, then you tell him at training before you go out of training, hey, Kylian, next time I take you out, just because I want to rest your legs, or maybe because I want the stadium to give you a hand, just be okay with it. And respect my decision as a coach, and do that in a manner in which it doesn't have to come out in the public forum and we don't have to talk about it. But when you go and try to give an explanation for somebody who's already upset, I can tell you from experience, don't try to give me an explanation when I'm upset. Right. Just let me take a couple of minutes, and then we can talk.
But to that point, I don't understand why Mbappe is upset. I totally take Ali's point, and I've questioned Tuchel and his own authority within that dressing room. But you're playing in a league in where the league is won just about already for all intents and purposes. You get substituted. There's a Champions League game to come. Okay, you're already through in that group as well, and you figure you're gonna play. I don't understand why you throw a strop. Which leads me to think that Mbappe is now trying to establish his own authority, especially over Neymar, and almost be throw more toys out to the pram than Neymar can, which is a ridiculous discussion to be having about two of the world's best players in one of the world's biggest football clubs. And now you have this power dynamic where you've got Tuchel trying to establish some kind of authority, and you've got two prima donnas, very talented prima donnas, kind of vying for the same spotlight. And it's ridiculous, especially given what's at stake here for PSG in terms of what we are hoping and the expectation is from them, particularly the Champions League.
At that level, as much as you're a coach for tactical reasons and putting together training sessions and in-game adjustments and what have you, you also have to be a manager, and a manager of people, a manager of talent, a manager of personalities, and you have to know which ones you can push, which ones you go and hug, which ones you leave alone. You have to know these things. It's part of your job, it's part of the description.
But it's almost impossible these days because money has been great for the game in some sense, but money has made the skill of managing players almost impossible and void.
PSG are, as a club, are a little bit complicit in this, in how they allowed Neymar kind of freedom when he first joined as well.
Yes, but my point, I understand, but I still think the point is valid, that the desire of players to potentially cause a problem when it's not really one, it supersedes years ago when players didn't have the power and the money that they have now, clearly. And so, therefore, you had to toe the line more with your man. Yeah, you could fall out, but he had the power, or he had enough power to be able to manage a group of players. Now, it is so eggshell thin for these managers that it's almost impossible to manage these multi-millionaire egomaniacs. And that's where the management, and we, Shaq and I, it was a guy that we played under who passed away this week, was what we'd call Jim Smith, old school manager, was great with managing players. Even he would find it impossible. And he could do both. He could kick you up the backside, put your arm around you. But can you do that now with players on such big money with so much power?
Frank?
Yeah, it's. I want to just add something about what Craig said about the players and the money that they earn. They are a company. They earn so much money. I'm not talking about the salary. I'm talking about the endorsement. So Mbappe and Neymar have a company behind them that they created with people working for them, and they have to get the most money they can for the next 10 years to make sure that they have enough for the rest of their lives and for the people from their family and people they love. It's a big pressure. And so they live in their own lives and their own world where they only think about, I'm going to make money, money, money. So if I get out, what's going to happen to my image? Before, at the time that I was playing, only Beckham, Cantona, Ginola were having money from the endorsements. Now it's another world. And maybe we don't understand them. Maybe it's hard to cope with them. And I wouldn't be a manager because I think I will be one who would be ready to slap one of them. But Tuchel tried to have a little bit of psychology to make sure that the balance is correct and is able to even talk to them. That's the only thing that he can do.
Sorry, Jules, we're running out of time, but I want to get your thoughts as PSG's #1 fan quickly on this.
Look, I mean, I think for me, Mbappe coming off in the 90th minute was Tuchel trying to make his point, because the big thing was the game before, 3 days before against Nantes at the Parc des Princes, when he took off Mbappe after 78 minutes, and Mbappe was really unhappy at that point. And I don't think Mbappe saw it coming 4 days later again against Montpellier away in the 90th minute. And I think for me, it was Tuchel saying, if I want to take you off at any time, I can. And I'm going to do it again tonight in the 90th minute, which is completely pointless. Like Ali said, there's no sense to it. But I'm going to show you that I'm the one who makes the decision here. It's my authority. I'm not sure if it worked out the way Tuchel wanted to, because he's struggling with the dressing room this season, far more than he did last season, for example. And my theory is that from himself, although he's got 18 months left on his contract at PSG, he will, at the end of the season, decide to go.
It's a full house at Extra Time. Everyone's staying with us today to answer all of your tweets. I think even Craig is staying as well.
Hey!
Very much against his will. Carlo Ancelotti, of course, sacked as coach of Napoli yesterday. According to the bookies, he's the favourite to be the next Arsenal manager, way ahead of the likes of Arteta and Lundberg. But Jules, you're saying save your money, it's not going to happen.
Yes, we wrote the story tonight on ESPN.com from the sources that we have. We're being told that this is not the profile that Arsenal are looking for, that is not part of the list. There's a long list. Because from what I'm told, there's a lot of managers applying for the job, the permanent job, not just coming in for a few games like Freddie Ljungberg is doing right now. So they are talking to people, they are interviewing people, and I'm being told that Carlo Ancelotti is not on that list. I think the last experiences that he had, both at Bayern Munich and also with Napoli, that didn't really go according to plan or with the success that maybe I think a lot of people would have thought so. Has something to play in that. Maybe they want someone with a bit more urgency, maybe a bit more intensity in his way of dealing with teams and dressing rooms. But right now, I'm being told that Carlo Ancelotti is not on Arsenal's list of potential managers to come in to replace Unai Emery on a permanent basis.
You couldn't ask for a more experienced coach. Been there, done it everywhere.
No, but
is this a mistake?
Whilst he clearly has had success, I just don't think this is a... I think Arsenal and Carlo Ancelotti at this juncture of where Arsenal are just not a good fit.
No.
The way he manages clubs, what he needs, the players that he deals with, no, not for me.
Does it work for you?
Well, if they can get him, I don't see why Carlo Ancelotti thinks that Arsenal is the right fit for him. Listen, Arsenal need a lot of work. They need a longer-term project, longer-term manager, maybe somebody like Vieira.
Arsenal right now is not a top-tier team. So they're going to have to look for a manager that is not a top-tier manager.
Arsenal, of course, in action tomorrow in the Europa League. We'll be looking back at their game, maybe looking ahead to the weekend as well. Be with us. Full slate of matches for you on ESPN Plus on Saturday, Sunday and Monday from Italy. Fiorentina against Inter.
Just about.
Craig
What
will
a
be
voyage.
off tomorrow. What a shame for all of us involved in the production. Stevie Batt will be celebrating his birthday.
Yes.
But be sure to stay tuned for Extra Time. Some interesting moments on Extra Time, including Shaka's beard revelation. Craig talks about his favourite Christmas movie, which is a North Korean documentary. Goodbye. Welcome into Extra Time. Thank you very much for your tweets. You'll notice Shaka's beard has gone.
Uh-oh. Well,
I hear there was
what an effort that was.
a discussion at home, Shaq.
Yeah.
You were told.
Wasn't much of a discussion,
What
to
was
be
it?
perfectly honest.
Mrs. Hislop went,
I just said to the wife, yeah, I'm bringing back the beard. And her response was, oh, God, no, not that thing again.
Yep.
Then when I heard that, I thought of him, and if his wife said that, he would just go full on Santa.
I'd gone by a false one. until the other one had grown in fully. You try to say I'm awkward.
Oh, no, just conflict
Stubborn,
resolution.
awkward.
Conflict resolution may not be your strength.
Argumentative.
Well, people shouldn't tell you what to do. So he buckled.
Yes, I did.
Well, how stupid is that?
Okay. A bit of French contingents with us as well. Frank Leboeuf and Jules.
That's a nice beard.
Yes.
Where's
Tell you
Jules
what,
had
I've seen
no
some
beard?
turtlenecks over the years.
Frank, if your wife told you to shave your beard off, would you?
She would never say that because she find me ugly without it.
And what does she find you with it?
She can find another guy. You know what can I do?
Jules, Jules, this is the first time in Champions League history that only one team... Oh, sorry, let me do all this again.
Go ahead.
This is the first time in Champions League history that only teams in top 5 leagues has made it to the knockout stage. Is the rest of Europe falling behind?
Yeah, I think so, and this is one of the fears that we've had. I think for a long time is that there is so much more money in the big 5 leagues than there is in any other country. That there's just a point where Portuguese club guys, for example, can produce great talent from the academy. There will be a point that those talents are going, and the next generation is too far behind to come and carry those teams like Benfica, like Porto, to the last 16 of the Champions League or the quarterfinal, etc. And it's the same with other countries as well, with Shakhtar Donetsk, for example, in Ukraine, or teams in Russia, for example, who haven't been too far, or in Belgium as well, haven't been too far from France, for example, who are the fifth country of those big 5 leagues. And I do think that there's a point where those rich clubs, because they're all rich, if you look at them, all 16 that are still left in the competition, are by far almost the richest in Europe. And I think that was always going to show at some point.
Atalanta aren't that rich, Jules. People will start shouting at you now. Yeah, anti-Atalanta ways.
No, but they still have more money in TV rights than a lot of other countries that are not in the big 5 leagues.
You hate fairy tales. Can this Bayern side...
Andy in dark.
Yes, he hates Ian Dark as well.
That was
rude, shouting at
an old man.
Shouting at a poor old man.
Yeah. Repeatedly shouting.
Yep. Oh, Jules. Can this Bayern side go on to win the Champions League? Who would like that? Shaka.
No.
Right. Ali?
No.
Craig?
Defensively, no.
Does Napoli appointing Gattuso raise players' morale at the club, or do you think players...
Tell me some.
Oh.
I almost made it to the end of that.
Wait. Finishes, it was quite boring. Before you can read it again, where is there more retreads? Italy or England?
Retreads?
Yeah, managers.
Oh.
Yes.
Coaching carousel.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you
Italy.
think-
It's got to be Italy, isn't
Because it just seems to me that the Italians just do a retread beautifully.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it was a long time England were retreading people.
Yes.
But Italy, I mean, Gattuso to Napoli. Sorry, what was your question? Just got it up because...
Retreads is something I've never heard before.
Well, actually, I heard it when I came here because it's an Americanism.
Is it?
Yes.
Well,
Where does it come from?
America.
and when I think American, I think Craig Burley.
You think
Look
Burley.
at this. Huh?
Oh, dear.
See, I listen when I come here, and I take other.
Land of the free, home of the brave, right here.
Retread.
Read the person's tweet.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to ask Jules this as well, because does Napoli appointing Gattuso raise players' morale at the club, or do you think players still want out? A lot, of course, having contract problems at the moment. Just putting that little bit of information in
He
as
will
well.
certainly shout much louder than Carlo Ancelotti has ever shouted, I think, in this Napoli dressing room. That's for sure. I mean,
Who shouts
his main
louder,
skill is-
Gattuso or you at Ian Dark?
I didn't shout at Ian Dark. I asked him a question. I want him to elaborate, give me answers. He could not.
You did,
You
and
know,
he's
that's
on
all. We're
medication.
still friends. I love him. He loves me.
He's on medication now. You don't know that. He hasn't told you. By the way, De Laurentiis is a problem there, no?
Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? If everyone is at their peak and fully fit, Frank, who has the best attacking trio? Liverpool with Mane, Salah and Firmino, or PSG with Neymar, Icardi and Mbappe?
That's a hell of a question and hard to answer. I think the Liverpool side know each other perfectly well and they combine very well. We have more artists in Paris Saint-Germain, so they're capable of doing individual crazy things. But it's hard to choose between the two sides. I think in Liverpool they have more experience playing together, but again in Paris you have fantastic magicians.
Is there an answer there? Did I hear an answer? Did he pick somebody?
I would say.
It's hard. I can't give an answer. I would say Paris.
Artists. We have more artists.
Yes.
That was nice. I like that line. That was a nice line.
The way I would put it is, if PSG have the better individual talent, certainly in 2 out of 3.
An artist.
If Real Madrid or whoever were going for individuals,
Yeah.
the big club would go for Mbappe and Neymar over, as good as they are, over Mane and Salah. But as a 3-ball,
As a package.
as a package,
Yeah.
the 3 of those are probably, for me at the moment, a little better as a package.
How much did Shaka...
Did I explain that well?
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
I'm
that's
quite happy
fine.
with that.
Oh, good. I'm glad you are.
Excellent.
Well, just pat yourself on the back. Well done.
Hey, excellent.
Oh, man.
Oh, hurry up, I want to go home and watch the President's Cup.
We want you to go home. How much did
I won't be here
Shaka...
tomorrow. You can, I tell you what, Europa League tomorrow, you can delight in the joys of that competition.
How much did Shaka putting Flamengo number 1 in his power rankings help influence them to be in the top 10 social media talked about teams this year? Do you see that chat? They were number 9.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
But you know what? I have...
Above LA Lakers.
I have a whole heap of Brazilian followers all of a sudden on Instagram.
Do you?
Because of Flamengo.
Oh,
yeah.
isn't that nice?
So you're not on Twitter, but you're on Instagram?
I am. That's correct.
Just pictures.
You didn't even know Flamengo was a team until that game. I thought it was just a bird.
No, okay, all right. It's not even, no.
Flamingo. Right.
Yes, I know that. I embellished that a little bit.
Who is more French, Frank or Juju?
Oh, man. Who's got the beard on the turtleneck? I go for beard and the turtleneck all day long.
Juju. I suppose who won the World Cup for their country?
He's not mentioned it. You haven't got your T-shirt on. No, he hasn't.
No. Jules, what's your case that you're more French than Frank?
I am Parisian, and Frank isn't, so maybe that gives me a little edge.
Well,
It's
jeez.
getting a little bit edgy.
Oh, man.
Oh, my
That's-
goodness.
Ooh, this
Frank is provincial.
shots fired there.
Frank, a retort without HR getting involved.
My dear Julian, don't ask what the country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Well, that's, okay, all right, okay. That's really not French.
I did.
Oh, goodness me.
Definitely 100% not French.
Well, whew, okay.
What movie is that?
That's JFK, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, of course.
Since Christmas is upon us, your favourite Christmas movie, and which Christmas movie that you watch every year. It can be different, as I watch A Christmas Story each year, but it's not my favourite.
Elf.
Elf, your favourite Christmas movie?
Yes.
Love Actually, for me.
Wow. That's actually a Christmas movie?
Of course it's a Christmas movie, it's all at Christmas.
I'm going to go with Christmas Vacation.
Classic. Mm-hmm. Craig. Jules, your favourite Christmas movie?
Home Alone.
That's a good one. Yep.
Frank?
I go with the French guy, Home Alone.
Do tell him what I was watching one Christmas.
Which one watching a documentary about North Korea?
I was watching
Merry Christmas, everyone.
a documentary about, it was very interesting, about North Korea.
Do you have a favourite Christmas movie?
No, well,
No?
no, name me some.
Well, we've named a few.
Have you met Craig?
No, I'm trying.
I like films.
You do like films.
I've watched Home Alone.
Yeah, it's
Toy
a wonderful. It's a wonderful life.
Toy Story.
Toy Story, not a Christmas movie.
That's what he said. I'll tell you what he said.
He just said Toy Story. Does
John
that...
Candy, what's the name of it? Is that a Christmas film?
Wow, that's dead now.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
He's in Home Alone, actually.
Yeah, no, what was the other one, John Candy? Oh, I can't remember. I don't know, I don't watch films.
Does Die Hard qualify as a Christmas
Well, that's a debate that people have every year,
Every
don't they,
year.
whether or not Die Hard is a
I
Christmas
just watch
movie.
films at Christmas. Well, I don't really.
But not...
I just watch. I don't watch. I don't go and say, "Oh, I'm going to watch a Christmas film." I'm just going to watch a film.
Oh, okay.
A good one. I'm currently trying to watch The Irishman, but it's quite long.
And what happens?
I fall asleep.
What is that?
Been up early. Lots to do today. Chores in the morning.
What have you done today?
Oh, I've got a list.
Chores.
Feet up.
That's it. Craig is
Well,
off
there's no
tomorrow,
golf. There's no
everyone.
golf. Golf season is well and truly over, and I can tell you, once I drop my daughter off in the morning,
Yes.
I'm absolutely bored out of my tree.
When's your gym season
when you start
restart?
losing-
January.
January.
Why? What a stupid question. Why would you start it before Christmas and New Year?
Yes, Shaggy, you idiot.
I don't know.
You know, January I'll be in the zone.
Dear, that's
Seen it?
it. That's
You've
it, right, we're done.
Now, you've seen that movie.
Oh,
There you go.
Yes.
There you are.
And that is no Christmas.